And we are back, and we just finished watching 2024's If, otherwise known as Imaginary Friends, rated PG with a runtime of 1 hour and 44 minutes. This is playing on MGM Plus, Paramount Plus, and to buy rent on Prime Video. This is written and directed by John Krasinski and is the story of a young girl named B who has gone through a very traumatic experience in her young life and is now a 12-year-old and sort of kind of almost reliving the same trauma and stumbles upon ifs.
Yeah, she sees one lurking about the building that she's staying at, her grandma's house, who lives in this gorgeous
place in Park
brownstone in
Brooklyn Heights.
In Brooklyn Heights.
Shout out to Brooklyn and to our old stomping grounds, Coney Island.
Yes.
When we lived on Bay 29th, we were at Coney Island every weekend
Quite a
with
bit.
baby G, who is not such a baby anymore.
Probably doesn't remember a thing about it.
No.
Said I didn't.
Yeah. I'm going to go around the table and get impressions. Olive G, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of If? Easy, girl.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, what'd you like about it? And we can spoil it because I feel like I don't think this movie is making any extra additional.
Don't give away the alleged
the ending.
twists or revelations, because people should figure out or find out those things themselves.
You don't want people to know that the lead character B is actually dead, like in The Sixth Sense?
Yes, that she shouldn't have been revealed that.
Oh, sorry.
Terrible.
Ryan Gosling killed her.
Yeah, he's not even credited in the movie, and he
Yes.
just came out of nowhere.
So I want to first say
I'm
that
Ryan Gosling, and I'm here to kill you.
I want to first say that as much as I like Ryan Reynolds, I feel like take a seat, man. You can't be in everything.
Yeah, he could do with a little bit of a downtime.
Yes,
because if he doesn't, the backlash is coming.
Yes,
it will come. It comes for everyone.
It does come for everybody, and I like him, but I feel like it's too much.
Yeah,
it's too much. You don't have to be in everything. You're not British. All right, Olive G, what did you think of the film? You liked it.
Yeah.
What'd you like about it?
I thought it was cute.
Yeah, it was very cute. Did anything make you want to cry?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Did you have a favorite imaginary friend? Did you like Blossom? Did you like Blue?
There were quite a few.
There were quite a few.
What about the one that was just sitting in the chair watching TV?
Oh, I liked that cat guy, but I also liked the cow with the little squid hat thing.
The GitHub logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought that one was cute.
I didn't notice that. Did I momentarily fall asleep?
She was on the screen for
2 seconds.
Maybe 30 seconds.
Interesting. All right. What did you think of B? Olive G.
In the beginning, she was kind of annoying.
I thought that might be where you were going. And then at the end?
I guess she had character development.
Why was she annoying in the beginning?
Because she's like, I'm not a kid anymore.
Yes.
Oh, her need to be viewed as an adult bothered you?
Yes.
Okay.
Enjoy being 12. You're almost 13.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're no longer you're gonna be a teenager. You should enjoy being a kid.
What did you think of George? Oh, why do I keep calling him George? Blue. Why do I keep calling him George?
Did you have a giant fuzzy purple imaginary friend named George?
Fuzzy grimace-looking person named George.
I didn't have an imaginary friend. I always wanted one, but I never took the time to make one in my head. I knew other kids that had them, but I did like playing with paper dolls and creating these universes of stuff, but I never had an imaginary friend. Did you?
I
don't
remember
think any of my kids.
I remember I tried making up an imaginary friend and they looked like a Bratz doll.
I could see that. Not an LOL? No, because Bratz, you probably saw Bratz before you saw LOL.
I don't know why, but I just thought of it and it's like, what the hell?
Did it have a name?
Maybe its name was Lola. I don't know.
A hastily abandoned imaginary friend.
Well, I think the whole concept of the imaginary friend was to help you deal with certain like traumatic events in your life, or if you were like a lonely kid or you were being bullied. I think historically those were the kids that were making imaginary friends, right?
The losers.
I mean, I never knew anybody who had an imaginary friend. The only time I ever heard of the concept of imaginary friends, it was usually like a horror story or something like that.
Yeah, like that movie Imaginary. That one's also about an imaginary friend, but except it's a teddy bear.
Oh, we should have
And
paired
it
that with
turns
this.
into a monster, and it eats people or something like that.
Nice. I'm sure those people deserved it.
I don't think they did.
Gee, what did you think of the film?
It was cute. At the beginning, it was annoying, and I hated it.
Did you hate B?
Yeah, she was not kind of annoying. She was completely annoying.
Really? What turned her around for you? What was her changing point?
Honestly, I didn't care about her at all to the end. I guess I didn't dislike her, but I didn't care about her. I didn't like her.
Did you were you invested in any character in the story, real or imaginary?
I wouldn't say I was like, oh, I can't wait for this imaginary friend to be paired up with their person again. But I really liked the scenes where Blossom connected with her person again, and Blue's scene wasn't bad either, even though I didn't like Blue.
Why didn't you like Blue? He's just annoying.
At the beginning of the film, he said he wants to say if, and then B's like, don't say if, and then he goes like, ee for a little while, and it annoyed me so bad. I wish he would have exploded.
You do know that Blue is also Gru from the Minions movies.
Oh, okay.
It's the same voice actor.
What?
The guy who's
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
You mean the bald man with the pointy nose?
Yes.
Is
Gru.
Grimace's son?
He's the guy that voices Grip.
He's also
fake
Michael
Grimace
Scott from The Office.
from The
Yeah,
Office.
that's what he sounded like.
What?
Yes.
But Gru sounds so different compared to Grimace's son.
He doesn't sound that much different. He's not
sound
really
different
doing
to
anything.
Me. Gru had like this accent or something.
Well, Gru, he's doing a voice.
Yeah.
For Blue, he's basically that's just Steve
His-
Carell.
Wait. Like Gru from Despicable Me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you meant the tree.
The tree?
The tree. Wait, no, that
Oh.
was Groot.
Oh, that's Groot, not
Groot.
Gru. No, Vin Diesel was
Vin
not
Diesel was not
an
a voice.
imaginary friend. They had quite a cast of imaginary
Yes.
characters,
Yes.
including apparently Brad Pitt,
Who, of course, isn't saying anything.
who was
Kevin.
invisible and silent. So
Like he
but
was
he's
in the Deadpool
still
movie.
got a credit.
Yeah. God bless. And also Bradley Cooper, who was not straying far from the Rocket Raccoon voice.
Yeah.
Who was he again?
He was the ice in the glass of water.
The cup with the little ice cube face.
I felt bad for that guy.
Just
Yeah.
the-
He
was-
only existed because his creator was
thirsty.
I gotta be honest. I thought at the end she was gonna write a book with all the little imaginary friends.
Yeah. I guess that would have, who's to say she isn't going to do that?
And exploit for profit.
Exploit all of them
That's
for
what you
profit
do.
and
That's
earn
That's
money.
why the imaginary friends go away. They get replaced with money.
Cold hard cash.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I fell asleep at the beginning of this movie, so I'm not gonna lie. I kept dozing off, but I don't know. I don't know if
in
it.
defense,
in
it's
the-
been a
it's
long
been a hell of a
weekend.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay. I kind of feel like they didn't quite have the mechanics of the universe down, because initially it seemed like when they were reconnecting these imaginary friends, because basically the plot is, we have all these abandoned imaginary friends. Let's hook them up with new kids and see if these new kids could see the imaginary character. And then, great. Now they're not going to be abandoned anymore. And then that shifted because apparently that just doesn't work, I guess. And
So they had to match them with their.
they had to match them with their
pre-existing-
the person who abandoned them, who was now an adult. And initially, it seemed like it wasn't going to be like, oh, look, there's your imaginary friend from your childhood, where the adult human being is now seeing some sort of creature manifesting in front of them, which in any normal world would mean this person going, oh my God, I'm having a psychotic break. What's
gone
going on?
completely insane.
I have schizophrenia, or I'm on LSD, or I don't know, something bad happened. But instead, the way they treated it was like the imaginary friend was almost like a guardian angel type thing. It gave
Kind
them
of.
comfort and
Yeah.
it gave them confidence, and it was a piece of that person that was missing, and now the imaginary friend has come to provide that
whole.
aspect of them, because that's how it felt with
George/Blue.
George,
I got you call him George now.
George, yeah. That's how it felt with Blue and also with the Blossom. Yeah, when they
Connected with their
reconnected with their person. But then at the end of the movie, it was just, all right, I'm walking out in the parking lot and suddenly I see my imaginary friend sitting on the hood of my car. That lady should have just been like, I'm going back in the hospital and just downing a bottle of some sort of antipsychotic medicine.
Yeah.
I'm definitely overanalyzing it.
Sure. Yes.
But I thought that the way it was handled prior to that made more sense in an adult context. Because if an adult has an imaginary friend,
chances are they're on psychotics.
yeah, you're nuts. It means you're nuts. There's no imaginary friends. You have lost
Your way.
your way. You have broken with reality. And now you see a giant blue fuzzy monster or
It was purple.
a purple monster or a cup of ice talking to you. Seriously, imagine that guy suddenly there's a cup of ice talking to him. He's probably like, oh my God, this is my sign that I need to quit drinking or something.
I took too much meth.
Yeah. So I mean, but overall, it was cute.
I mean,
It's
I think
definitely
this-
it's a kids movie.
Yes,
This
I was just about to
isn't
say.
something that I like. Like I said, an adult me analyzing this movie, I'm finding these sort of flaws with the mechanism.
It's a very simple story.
It's a very simple story. The big reveal, I kind of figured out like pretty
Yeah,
much.
You didn't know nothing.
No, as soon as I saw the way John Krasinski was acting, I knew.
You don't know nothing.
I knew as soon as I saw how the way he was talking, his mannerisms, it's something that we have become quite familiar with in the past few years because of a certain charming actor. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
this was absolutely a kid's film.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, 100%, which is kind of interesting because I kind of like John Krasinski, A Quiet Place kind of director. So this is definitely a departure from that. If you're expecting that, you got to keep it moving because that is not this film.
Yeah, you're not going to get a quiet
Although, if you want to take the bones of this and make that, please do, because I love horror movies. I took a BuzzFeed quiz the other day, and it was like, oh, you should watch The Shining because you like horror. I was like, no crap, Sherlock. This is absolutely John Krasinski paying tribute to the very, very young. And I think also to the nostalgia of being young, right? Because I think that when you add those components in the story of the older people who used to have ifs, it sort of harkens to that time where you're young and you're innocent and you have this friend that you rely on. And I think that that's kind of important because as we get older, we mature, we get jaded, we're not the same people that we used to be. And that's fine because obviously life is a journey and you should absolutely mature and develop and continue. But in this sense, there's also this kind of loss of innocence that happens as you get older because of your lived experiences. And wouldn't it be nice to hold on to that? And I think that was kind of like the bigger story here. And it's kind of weird because I felt like the B character, she was still a little too young. She's only 12, but she is going through this traumatic experience in her life that is very reminiscent of another traumatic experience in her life. So from that vantage point, I thought that was interesting. At the end, when she does her little voiceover, I kind of wished they had picked like an adult actress to do that, to kind of talk about in the past how she came to this realization that it was okay to grow up and move on, but it was also really important to hold on to that youthful magic. So I think I probably like this film better than most people at this table, but I think that it was incredibly long. There were too many characters
For a kids movie, I thought that was fine. You want to have as much weirdness, and you got to have that for a kids movie. It keeps the kids entertained. This really, I mean, seriously, look at the rating. It's PG.
Yeah.
How often does a PG movie come out nowadays? That's actually
straight PG.
That's actually marketed well.
Well, yeah.
And has fairly decent special effects.
Yes.
Most PG stuff that comes out is
trash.
It's like direct to DVD or
home video.
I'm aging myself there, boy.
Yeah.
Direct to streaming.
Yeah.
And it's usually crap.
Yeah. The special effects are usually god awful.
Yeah. And another thing, it's like how this is really a straight kids movie. Even when you do sometimes get the PG movies, the ones that do get big budgets and advertising or whatever, there's stuff there for the adults.
Yeah. Well, I think there was stuff here for the adults too. I mean, it wasn't
to a much less degree. Like Pixar will have stuff that really gets an adult thinking.
Yeah, they're good at that. Like towing the line between young and old.
Line, or any other kids cartoon where you're watching it and you're just like, that's a reference for me.
Yeah.
That's a reference for somebody who grew up in the 80s and 90s.
And
the little kid isn't going to know what the hell's going on. They're just going to laugh because somebody like split their pants or farted or something.
Farting is comedy gold when you're young.
It is. There's like a Mount Rushmore of humor that works with kids, and one of the faces is a giant pair of butt cheeks.
Yeah,
farting.
for sure. So while I was watching this film, and I kind of got shades of Paul King and like Paddington. Like they were going for that aesthetic.
Maybe
they were
with
going
the
for
Louis
that.
Gossett teddy bear looking thing.
Kind of, but even the story and the color palette and just this story about innocence and wonder and magic and these imaginary friends that don't have anyone to call their own anymore.
I could sort of see that. I would say
there
it was
one
I would
shot
say
in
it's
particular that kind of really, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but when we were watching, I wish I had said it out loud. In my mind, I was like, oh, that sort of reminds me of Paul King.
Was it when they were in Coney Island and it was like 50s or whatever, and they were
maybe,
with
or maybe it was during the big dance sequence or musical number.
Yeah, there was that too.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It felt a bit Paul King-ish, but it was also
not as good.
Imagine like a more muted palette as far as Paul King goes. Like it wasn't as sharp.
No.
And
the story writing wasn't as sharp either.
It didn't have as much like depth and intricacy in the backgrounds that you see. Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely I feel like Krasinski was trying to emulate that. The other thing I want to bring up, and it's kind of interesting, we are actually going to pair this movie with a movie that is within the film, which is Harvey.
Yeah.
You and I watched that, and we discussed it. And it's funny because we actually watched that many, many months ago.
Yep.
Which do you think is a better film?
Harvey.
Yeah, I agree. Why do you think Harvey's better?
It appeals more to adults. I enjoyed Jimmy Stewart's character more than I enjoyed B. Less dour, less melancholy. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
And you never see Harvey.
Never.
I mean, aside from a painting or a portrait of him.
Right.
Yeah, it was just a more enjoyable experience. This one, they were trying to tug at my heartstrings.
Yes, very much so.
I don't think they actually succeeded. I never once felt myself getting misty or like, oh, well, I miss my youth. Never really felt that.
No. All right. You said you like the Jimmy Stewart character better than you like the B character.
Mm-hmm.
What about the performance from Jimmy Stewart made you like that film better or that storytelling experience better?
I mean, I like Jimmy Stewart, but the same way everybody in the movie liked Jimmy Stewart because he was just a likable, friendly guy. He would just walk around, head in the clouds, meet people, talk to people, guide them around, treat them well. Like if I were to run into a guy who was saying he had an imaginary friend, I would be like, I hope they would be like Jimmy Stewart as opposed to just the type of people that actually do have imaginary friends.
Okay, fair enough. What did you think of the musical number?
I could have lived without that.
Really? Gee, what did you think of the musical number?
I don't remember that.
Really? It was a whole Tina Turner song.
You were loving the hell out of it. You were singing along with it. I was like, when it first started, I was like,
I love that
what
song.
song is this?
Oh my God, how dare you?
I don't remember what you guys. Are
I
talking
mean,
about.
the song.
Remember, like, Ryan Reynolds, suddenly he had a mullet?
I think G
They were-
was not paying attention.
I also fell asleep during this movie.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
wasn't interested.
I think this was around the time when I had my little
Power
power nap and I was awake. But yeah, the beginning of the movie was kind of a drag.
It wasn't like their version of Up, where they're trying to tell a story really quickly.
You mean the first few minutes of Up? That's like some of the most brilliant storytelling ever put on screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't think they were trying to emulate that here at the beginning?
Oh,
of this?
that. I don't know. No, they did not succeed. They
It did not succeed, but I think
because
they
Up
were
was because
trying.
Up was way simpler because
Yeah.
it was music and it was just their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody. Well, yeah, people died, but it wasn't dragged out. You know, it's like, yay, we're the super happy family. Oh my God, everything's great and beautiful, and everything's painted in like light dappling through windows and wonderfully decorated houses and whatnot. And my mom's dead.
Dun,
And,
dun,
and,
dun.
dun, 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 and now I gotta go hang out with grandma because guess what? Dad might die too. It's like, what has this family been doing? Do they like live near a nuclear waste factory or something?
Krasinski was obviously Hitler in a different life.
Yeah, Jesus. They never really say what's wrong with him, but I guess he had heart surgery,
Yeah. Yeah.
which she like pounces on his chest at the end. It's-
That was not accurate. What did you think of the Krasinski character? He's not in it for very much, but
Isn't he around for like 15 minutes at most?
maybe total time.
Yeah.
maybe total time, maybe a little less. But he is an important piece of the story.
I felt like he was acting like somebody else.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. Explain that. Because I think I co-sign on what you just said, but explain to me what you mean by that.
The way he was speaking, the way he was acting, he was doing his hardest to impersonate Ryan Reynolds.
Interesting. I wouldn't have picked that because I felt like Ryan Reynolds was Ryan Reynolds in the film.
Yeah.
With less cursing. It's funny
Obviously.
because we just saw Deadpool. And I feel like Deadpool, like at this point, Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool are interchangeable. And I feel like Ryan is Wade, Wade is Ryan. Like there's just a very blurry line between the two. Here, I felt like Ryan Reynolds was being Ryan Reynolds with like the sarcasm and stuff, although he kept it very clean for this film. But he was still playing Ryan Reynolds. I didn't get that from Krasinski. From Krasinski, I felt like he was trying to be somebody, but I just couldn't figure out who. He was definitely playing a character.
He was playing.
He wasn't being Jim Halpert.
He was playing PG Ryan Reynolds. He was playing Ryan Reynolds when he's on an interview show or like co-hosting something.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I entirely agree with that, but
The first scene that he appears, it's like he has all the mannerisms down. And there's a reason for that.
all right. So according to IMDb, the budget on this movie is $110 million, which I find astronomically low for the amount of voice talent in this film, unless everyone decided as a favor to Krasinski to just do this film for scale, which because George Clooney's a voice, Awkwafina's a voice, Bradley Cooper's a voice, Amy Schumer's a voice, Phoebe Waller-Bridges is a voice. Well, she's one of the main characters, Steve Carell. Who else is on there? Matt Damon. Maya Rudolph, Chris Maloney. I love that guy. He doesn't do enough stuff, that guy.
Sam Rockwell.
Emily Blunt, his wife, but I feel like
I
that's kind
gotta
of
be
cheap.
honest,
Bill Hader was the banana.
Yeah, I think Krasinski is and
Richard Jenkins,
I think Krasinski and
Keegan-Michael
Ryan
Key.
are the type of people who could just be like, "Hey, come over and
We're gonna do this
sit
thing.
in a voice booth for
Yeah.
5 minutes."
Blake Lively, Sebastian Maniscalco, Jon Stewart, and of course Brad Pitt. Again, cheating the system, collecting a paycheck.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey,
If you can
screw
do
that.
it.
Screw those studios, man.
If you can do, I mean, that feels like a lot of people for $110 million budget.
Like I said, they probably just got invited over to somebody's house, got
I mean,
wasted
they're in a voice
and
booth,
read
right?
their lines.
I mean, Jon Stewart had maybe 3 minutes of dialogue, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Sam Rockwell, maybe 5. Yeah, I mean, if you can get it, why not, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go around the table and get numbers. I'm going to start with myself. I thought this was cute. I think it's definitely geared towards very small children. I think that this is geared for kids, maybe, what would you say, like 4 to 10?
Yeah, I
4
think
to
so.
10?
That sounds like a good age range.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a big spread, but I feel like 4 to 10, it's very colorful. Like you said, there's a lot of characters in it, and I think that from where it starts to where it ends, it's a very predictable movie. Not to say that that's bad. It's just not dynamic enough. This is not on the same level as like a Paddington or even a Wonka.
This is straight up kids fare. It's not going to make you think. You're not going to see anything that's going to blow you away or disturb you. So
Yeah.
this is like a super safe movie for kids.
Yeah, and emphasis on the super safe, because I think that
I'm surprised it wasn't rated G.
yes.
Like, I wonder why it's PG.
Well, I think maybe like
hospital scene.
Oh yeah,
topic,
I guess dealing with mortality
Mortality.
pushes it into PG territory.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Nowadays, yeah.
Right, because we got to bubble wrap these kids.
Yeah.
So I
what'd you
guess on
say?
a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6, I think. 1 to 10.
I would also give it a 6.
Gigi.
I guess 7.
A 7. What about you, LFG?
A 7 too.
Oh, excellent. So I guess if you have small children and you need like 2 hours for a break or to do some laundry, I think definitely throw them in front of this. I think little kids will definitely appreciate it.
Or just watch it with them.
Or watch it with them. Yeah, spend some time with your kids. Damn it.
They'll be happy, and their happiness should make you happy. So.
Exactly.
you go.
And you could talk about it. I mean, that's why we watch movies with the kids, so we could talk about it. Sometimes to make fun. Although there's nothing to make fun about here. It's just a sweet story.
This wasn't bad enough to make fun of.
Nah. What did we hate that we just wing women?
That movie's terrible.
That was terrible.
Frozen.
That was the first thing out of your mouth.
Frozen 2.
Frozen 2 was god awful.
I heard they're making a 3rd one.
Yeah.
How is that possible? Well, it's such a big moneymaker, right?
I think
I'm sure the second one did well.
I think
for
they're
them.
making a 3rd one, and they already have ideas for a 4th one in the works.
Stop yourself.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Well, hopefully it's better than the second one.
It's
That
gotta,
second
it's
one was
gotta be.
shite.
They need to get somebody to make some good songs, because
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that
Yeah.
second film. Like even the big song wasn't good.
and also an antagonist. Come on,
Yeah,
make a bad guy.
and don't punk out. You didn't have a problem killing everybody in Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, you don't have to go that hard, but
Yeah, I wanted the Frozen 3 to be just brutally
Mayhem.
violent. I want to see viscera.
yes,
I want to see Elsa impaling people.
yes,
Ice spike.
with her
Just
javelin of ice,
Freezing
right
just
through
their
people.
skin, so this way when they move, their skin explodes and their muscles and organs just.
Yes.
Yes. Disney definitely has the FX budget for that.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so 7766. If you are so inclined on Paramount Plus and MGM Plus, you can check out IF, which stands for Imaginary Friends. You can also get this to buy rent on Prime. And with that, we bid you all a
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.